It is the day we've been waiting for. Seems like forever. And part of me didn't know if it would ever be here, but it is. So I have some updates and info to give you guys today. Up-to-date info that I'm going to be sharing with you all. And the last few days, I really had to downshift. I don't know what you have been dealing with lately. Hopefully not much, but I kind of hit a wall, I guess. And I felt bad because, let me fix this. I felt bad because I really wanted to put out even more new songs than I did leading up to the election. That was my plan. But yeah, it was about 3 days out, those last couple days, and I just hit the wall. So let me start by talking a little about the Pastor Bob Joyce Elvis updates. If you guys have not seen the playlist called Bob Joyce and Elvis Presley, then you should really check it out because it's over 200 videos now. And if there's even the slightest possible chance you want to look into that more, everything is there. Okay. I'm getting at the point in the digging for more videos, more information, that it's hard to find more stuff out there. Pretty much everything is on this channel that you could want to see what we've been talking about the last few years, many years. It's only been about a year for me, but if you want facial comparisons, if you want musical comparisons, if you want the theories, the rumors, whatever it is about Pastor Bob and Elvis, then I assure you, you're going to find it on this channel's playlist for Bob Joyce. So, with that being said, we're still, of course, just waiting for more scoops and info to come out, probably through George Magazine, more than likely, because that's how it's being set up and presented to us. But I think in, what is it, November sometime, mid-November, Pastor Bob is supposed to start doing some kind of, I think, regular broadcast on a radio station. I want to say Arkansas, but I'm not sure if that's the correct state. That would make sense. It's probably nearby his church somewhere. I was meeting the grinding. So it's definitely coffee 30 and election breakfast, ladies and gentlemen, because yeah, the last few days I had to downshift. I sort of hit the wall but I wanted to be as fresh as possible for today, and I'm thankful that I think that's what has happened. I needed a few days. I was still working, but it wasn't at the normal tempo, and I never liked that, but you know, when you got to rest, you got to rest. So that's what I did. And I do have a site that I want to share with all of you. Okay, so probably the most important thing I will share with you today to get up-to-date info, coverage about the numbers and what's happening today on November 5th, election day. It's no secret. Everybody's talking about the election. And yeah, I even put the hashtags in this video. So election, election, election. So if you want the most up-to-date and best source, you want to go to, I don't want to mess this up, decisionusaonline.com. And yeah, I'm putting it out there. I'm not going to give you the specifics about it, but Decision USA Online, check out the people that are there and going to be watching it along with you and me. I'm not going to be getting my info from the TV. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am not. And we know how that rolls from the past couple elections. I'm going to be watching with the people of the site I just told you. So, Decision USA Online. Check it out. And that begins at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. That's when that coverage will start. And I'm sure it'll be going until the wee hours of the night. That's going to be my main source for up-to-date the numbers, seeing how everything's panning out. But then I might do some streaming from the computer later today and just share with you guys some of the other stuff that I'm finding and watching. It's a little bit easier to do on some other places, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. But I don't know. You might say I'm still working on deciding that strategy for today. So other than that, yeah, it is election breakfast and I'm making coffee. And I'm about to make some eggs and my favorite breakfast. Eggs, toast, meat, maybe a side of some pickles, and get this day rolling. So the goal today is to do a little bit more streaming, I guess, and give you guys the best up-to-date info I can, because no doubt there's going to be probably some varied speculation like there usually is. And part of the benefit of us going through these last 4 years is learning who are really the best channels, sources to be following. And so I feel really good about that. I'm still telling you guys and prepping us all, including myself, that my best guess is we have maybe a couple more long months ahead of us. And I don't even like the thought of that, considering how long we've been waiting for today. However, I'm very optimistic about what's going to happen today. I just don't think that's going to be the end of it. I don't. And yeah, there's some things I can't really mention that I just shared on. If you go into the video description and you check out, I don't know if it's the first or second channel, but go to both of them. Go to the first couple, and you're going to see some of the things that I just shared. And it's mighty interesting given where we're at with everything and what we're expecting people to try to do. I personally am thinking that it's going to be a big blowout, essentially, or big enough that it's obvious. But then we're going to have to deal with the afterward effect of that, which is they're not going down quietly. They're not going down without a fight, because once he returns in 2025, the gloves are off. Okay, there's no other way of putting it. The gloves will be off, as they should be, because they have done everything imaginable to try to stop him, which is actually stopping us. It's not about him, it's about all of us. And that needs to be met with a response. Sorry, as I'm trying to talk and cook. Oopsie. Gotta have a lid for the meat I'm about to reheat. And so, yeah, this live, I just wanted to hang out with you a little and kick off this day, because I feel like I need to eat right. Probably going to be a long day. Not really stressful for me at all. I'm going to be probably home all day, but it is going to be a long day watching to see how everything unfolds. Okie dokie. So I'm about to pour me a nice big cup. Well, maybe not as big as this, but half of a big cup of Cassie coffee. I just made my French press organic Colombian coffee. And I only buy it because I get it on Amazon, and it's the cheapest and best tasting I found. And I do like the organic part, but I just really like the brew. And it's hard to get good coffee that's not too crazy expensive. I think it's like a 2-pound bag for $14 or $15, which is actually, really good if it's good coffee. But pouring the Joe in progress. So, yep, election coverage today, and maybe a little music going with the flow today. But cheers. That is a tasty brew. And I did just post yesterday a new TCB update about Pastor Bob Joyce, 𝐠𝐤𝐻𝐿, and George Magazine. That was yesterday, but it seemed like maybe a lot of you have not seen it yet. So get some of the latest updates on all of that. And I'm really looking forward to as things progress, and there's going to be tons more to talk about and exciting updates to give. I mean, I'm not just hoping for it, I am counting on it, because at this point it's going to take me, or it's going to be hard to stop considering the theory of Bob Joyce and Elvis after everything that I've seen. I mean, I cannot imagine him being just a relative at this point. I think it's the guy. I really do think Bob is Elvis Presley. I don't have any big emotional attachment to it, which is why I said I'm probably one of the best Bob Joyce and Elvis channels to follow for an open-minded position, because I never followed Elvis before. I loved the music, but wasn't a big fan or anything. So it wasn't until I stumbled upon the info and videos and decided to check it out that I even thought about Elvis, or Bob Joyce for that matter. But Bob Joyce is who actually I came across first, and his preaching, which is pretty cool if you think about it, because that's how a lot of people are hearing about him in some fashion, is through his preaching and his just sharing the gospel, sharing his messages, his hope, his inspiration, all of that. So because he does such a great job at it. And then after that, most people are maybe learning more about the theories. So I don't know, it's just too much for me at this point to not think there's something there. And I think I might talk a little bit more in detail soon about just the musical connections, fascinating finds that I've noticed just from a musician standpoint. So forget the facial comparisons, the talk about the family, or the little slip ups and things that we've noticed that we're like, why did they say that? Or, why does the epitaph read his name not spelled properly? Hey there, winged eternally. Bob is Elvis, in my opinion, and mine as well. I researched pretty heavily Elvis years ago, and there are too many things that add up to him faking his death I didn't know about Bob back then. Sweet. Yeah, I mean, we all come from different sides of the just learning about him and the possibilities. Sorry, I'm kind of hungry this morning. Got to eat. But like I was saying, I think I want to dive back in further into just the musical side of it, because as someone who's been a musician my whole life, played in many bands, both civilian and military. I was in the Marine Corps band for 15 years. I was a pianist. I was a vocalist. I led jazz bands, rock bands, big bands, Dixieland bands, all kinds of bands, and did the conducting too. Not as much, but just was essentially, I also did the music leader role besides being an instrumentalist. And I could put together a pretty good list of just musical things that Pastor Bob and Elvis do seemingly identically. Now, that is coming from somebody who didn't really follow Elvis until the last year or so. However, music, the execution of music performance has nothing to do with, looks or past history or anything. You just notice certain licks that people do on their instrument, the vibrato in their voice, the range of their voice. And assuming Elvis is now 89 and his name is Bob Joyce, everything aligns from my perspective. So, of course, he's not going to sound identical. He's not even going to look identical. Could have had plastic surgery anyway, but I don't know if he did, though. I mean, when you get older, your body does change some anyway. And maybe you grow a beard. You're interested? Okay. Yeah, I work best with a list that I can then talk from my own experience. So I did a short one of those. I think it was on live maybe a month ago, but I'm going to put together a little bit longer list and then just talk about the different points on it. But yeah, I could go into just his stage presence alone, or his performance on the piano, his performance on the guitar, his vocal performance, and the style of music that he's been doing. All of those things, as musicians, when we work on different things, whether it be music theory or reading music, the different sort of categories of performance and style, those are all very, they're specific points that we work to improve on. Or I used to also audition other musicians, sort of be like the talent scout kind of job, uh, but as a military musician. So when you know all those different things to be looking for in the execution of a musician, meaning the performance that they give, the timing of what they do, their tone, there's so many different things that I would be looking for to compare to another person. I'm not just emotionally going, oh, wow, they sound so much like Elvis, like a fan or something. And I'm not saying that's wrong if you just love Elvis and you're sold, or even you don't believe he is, either way. But that's not me. When I listen to Bob and Elvis, I'm not listening at all from an emotional standpoint. Well, maybe if I love the song a little bit, but I'm listening very analytically and based on past musical experience and current musical experience, and a laundry list of specific things that I can point to that have helped lead me into that area of, this really could be the guy. Like, even to this day, I'm amazed myself. But yeah, lots of people go into hiding to witness protection. I mean, it does happen, right? That is not impossible. And then really with somebody who lived a life like Elvis and got to that breaking point where we know he was depressed, we know even with all that money, it didn't make him happy, right? All the fame, all the money. And the Bible tells us that it's worthless too. But it's not until you live that life and you experience it that you can really appreciate it and also still be depressed. So, in many ways, not only was he a good candidate for witness protection, he was maybe even the most likely in some ways. So, it's not just speculation, it's not just like a Hopi thing for me. It's just leading the dots where they go. And for me, the dots lead me to a very likely possibility. And so until I hear or see otherwise, that's where I'm at. So who we got here? Sheila, welcome. Get Bob Joyce's CD. It sounds so much like Elvis. Yeah, his new album, Safely Home. Is that what it's called? Yeah. That came out in August. It's fantastic. And once I heard that first song, I was even more of a Bob Joyce fan. I loved it so much. And he does sound just like Elvis. That is for sure. Winged Eternally said, my research found back then that he probably had a little bit of surgery. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. But it doesn't seem like he had much either. That's just my opinion. I don't think he would have had a lot. I mean, when you do the facial comparison stuff, when you check out those videos, which again, there's at least a good handful on this channel on the playlist for Bob Joyce. It seems like, most of the scars and markings are still there. And I don't know, some people say he looks exactly like EP, and others say he doesn't look at all like him. But I disregard the people that say he doesn't look at all like him because I see plenty of very close similarities. So I'm just gonna kind of dismiss that as they're not even really looking. They're just, like the video popped up and they're just dismissing the whole thing immediately. And so that kind of argument doesn't faze me one bit. Hello, Aisa. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but that is a very nice name. Hello to you. And so I'm trying to eat a little while I talk, but I think I'll have to end this live so I can dive into my coffee and my food. But yeah, I'll be doing more streaming later, giving more updates on the election, and maybe that's something I can do more today, which would probably be a quick and easy live for me. Would just be talk more about Pastor Bob and Elvis's music similarities, because I think that would be beneficial to a lot of you. And I would like to have the list myself, and I just haven't officially done that yet. I just kind of talked about it casually on the live streams, but Okie dokie. Well, I'm going to eat some food. As you can see, I am in red, white, and blue, and really excited for this day to finally, honestly, be over. But I'm excited for it to play out and for everything that's happening, whether it gets rough first along the way, which I expect, or it's just really happy tonight. I don't know, but I'm excited either way for everything that's happening. And lots more updates about Pastor Bob, 𝐠𝐤𝐻, George Magazine, and Elvis coming soon. So I'll see. Oh, hi, Irma. Glad you made it. Yeah, I just made some food. It doesn't look very good at all. It's like leftovers, but then I made eggs and toast. And I wanted an official election day shift morning breakfast because it's going to be a full day, I think. And like I said, I've kind of felt bad the last few days because I was going to do a new song every day the last 10 days up to the election. But then over the weekend, I kind of hit the wall and felt like, okay, if I don't downshift, I'm going to get sick for sure. Started feeling achy and all of that. And so I didn't do too much work the last few days and just recharge. And I'm glad I did because today, election day, I feel a lot better. And I really wanted to be able to bring you guys the updates that I had, do a little bit more streaming, maybe have a little fun talking about Pastor Bob and Elvis some more today. So I think I just decided on this live that I would do, I think I'm going to do a live stream and just talk about the music, like musician focused comparisons between Pastor Bob and Elvis and the things that I found as, like I said, just as somebody who's been a musician their whole life with experience working with literally thousands of musicians. And I'm really proud to be able to say that honestly too, because a lot of them were kind of like music heroes, you might say, great military musicians who really worked tirelessly to serve our country in that way. And I'm glad that I had that opportunity to do that too. And yeah, you're welcome. Winged Eternally. Actually, I think you gave me the idea. Even though it was in the back of my head or whatever, like I wanted to do something a little bit different today. And so thank you for that. That is a good idea. And I know a lot of people would appreciate it too, to hear maybe an elongated, concise video and list of those things. So yes, thank God. Thank you, Irma. I'm glad to be feeling better too. It's never fun when you feel all tired and blah. Did Elvis do patriotic songs? What's it called? American Trilogy is his most well-known, I believe, which is like a patriotic and a Christian song, really. And that's a good question. I meant to look up who wrote that song, but it's also one of the songs that Pastor Bob has become most well-known for sounding exactly like Elvis throughout the song and including that high note at the end. So yeah, make sure you check out American Trilogy on the channel playlist. I'm pretty sure that name is in the title, but yeah. Thanks, Irma. Glad you liked the picture. Yeah, that was fun We went yesterday morning to do our things, and that was fun going with him and taking him on his first election. So yeah, had to take the picture to prove it and post it on here and a few places. So I got the proof. But okay, yeah, I'm gonna eat now. Got food, and I'm gonna charge up with calories and yummies, and I will be back with you later. I don't know, maybe not be too long actually, but in the next hour or two, give or take. I'm probably going to do several lives today. So if you can make sure you're getting the notifications, if you want to hang out with me and sort of get the scoop as we proceed in this historical day, then please do. Otherwise, I'll also be trying to get some new videos out there as well. And I'll see you soon. So thank you all. Thanks, Winged Eternally, Irma. Yeah, everybody that's been joining, thank you. And I will see you very soon. Take care.